Hello, everybody. It is Vince Russo, and I am here to continue on with my series of I finally got around to. And in this experience, in this situation, it is watching The Walking Dead. I wanted to continue on with this series because I think it's very important. Keep in mind, I am watching this through the eyes of a television viewer. When I talk about wrestling, I talk about this all the time. Casual television viewers watching wrestling on television and what they're seeing. And I am going to make a comparison here and a contrast so you will understand the hows and the whys and the whats of how I made it through season 5 of The Walking Dead. As I told you in the first part of this series, The Walking Dead, which premiered on AMC many years ago, was a show I would not watch. That's why I didn't watch it in its first run. I am not interested in comic books, and I certainly am not interested in a zombie apocalypse. Now, these are the same reasons why some people do not watch professional wrestling. They're not interested in wrestling. But what happened, especially around the Attitude Era, was something we like to call water cooler talk. People were going to work and they were talking about what was happening on Monday Night Raw. Water cooler talk. People started hearing about it. People started listening. So people gave the show a try. Much like the way I was drawn to Walking Dead. There was a lot of talk. There was a lot of hullabaloo about this series. And it almost made me feel like I wasn't in on it and I was missing something that everybody else was watching and everybody else was enjoying. So as you guys know, as I talked about in part 1, I started watching The Walking Dead, which almost lost me multiple times during the very early episodes. And I'll tell you why. Because those early episodes were loaded with zombies eating human beings, flesh eating zombies, almost like wrestling. When you put on a wrestling show and it's match after match after match after match, and you're not really a wrestling fan, you get to the point saying, okay, enough with the wrestling, I'm done. I was almost done with the flesh-eating zombies. I was at the point of enough. I get it, bro. They're zombies. I get it. But something very interesting happened in episode 4. And in episode 4, the group separated. And they went off in a group of 2, in a group of 3, and they started telling these separate, different stories. And we started learning more about the characters and caring more about the characters. And with going off with these separate stories every week was different. There were different characters. There was a different story. It was a different setting. So I was interested. So now this is the part I like as a television viewer. I like the backstory. I like the character development. I like the storylines. And that's the direction season 4 really started going. And they started backing off the violence and the flesh eating. But I told you, bro, season 5, episode 1, they almost lost me completely with cannibalism. All right, bro, I don't need to see this. But luckily, because they now had me intrigued, that got me by the cannibalism. And now we go into season 5, and a lot of people started not watching at this point. And I think a lot of people started not watching because some people who may have tuned in for the zombie apocalypse, just like those that tune in to see wrestling matches, those people, but that is the niche, those people may have been turned off by now the stories and the character and the development, because I've heard so much about season 5 being boring. To me, season 5 was the best season because once we got through the cannibalism, a lot starts to happen, bro. We see a lot of different scenes, a lot of different locations, a lot of different stories. We're seeing development now. We're really seeing these characters now start to change. We open up with the Terminus. From Terminus, we go to the hospital where I think it was Beth. Was it Beth? Beth was kidnapped and taken to a hospital that was run by corrupt cops and doctors. That was a whole other story. They recover from that. They overcome that. And there is a shocking death, a swerve at that point where Beth takes one to the head. Nobody saw that coming. Now they are approached by a stranger called Aaron, and he tells them about this community that he has called Alexandria and how safe it is. So we go to Alexandria and we see a regular neighborhood with regular people with these monumental walls blocking out the zombies so they can't get in. And we're brought into this whole new world. These residents have never been faced with the zombies up until this point. So now, bro, you're watching this and you know as a viewer, bro, this is not as good as it seems. Something horribly is going to go wrong in Alexandria. You knew it. So now it's like, what's going to go wrong? What's going to be happen? Obviously, this is not the paradise they think it is. So now there's a big question. Now they got you hooked. Now you've got to watch this show. Now, bro, the lead character, Rick, is losing his mind. There's another character, Sasha, losing her mind. There's a lot going on eternally, mentally with these characters. They're becoming different people because of the circumstances right in front of your eyes. Then, bro, as we knew it, Alexandria blows up, bro. Things aren't peaceful in Alexandria, and the story develops. Rick becomes emotionally involved with a woman, Deanna, winds up killing her husband with a bullet to the head. Bro, you got me now in this season 5 because, bro, you got off the zombies and the flesh feeding, and now you're giving me so many different stories. In this one particular season, you're giving me so much growth with these characters. You're giving me the big question marks. Okay, how is this going to go terribly bad? You're planting the seeds with the W's on the foreheads. Do you understand now, guys, how through 5 seasons, I've become more and more interested in this show? When you go over to AEW, when you go over to Raw, when you go over to SmackDown, you're getting the same damn thing every week. So there is no way, bro, that these shows are going to be able to cultivate new viewers. There is nothing there for them. There are no question marks. There's no drama. There's no history. There's no, character development. There's no character change. There's no plots. There's no storylines. There's no cliffhangers. There's nothing. Can you guys see the difference between the wrestling genre and even the zombie genre? When they started this Walking Dead, it was going to be a niche audience, bro, a niche audience. But they got more people to watch through storytelling, through character development. I care about these people now. I don't want to see Daryl die now. I care about these individuals. So this is what I say every week about these godforsaken wrestling shows. There's nothing happening. They are totally dumbed down. There is nothing to understand. There is nothing to think about. There is nothing make me wanting to watch next week. I'm watching these episodes of Walking Dead one after another as long as I can keep my eyes open. Now, as I continue this series, you're going to see that there are going to be television shows I turn off. And I'm going to tell you why I turn them off, what forced me to turn them off. But this show, 5 seasons in, has hooked me. I've given you all the reasons why this show has hooked me. Professional wrestling, I can't wait to stop watching this show. So that's it, everybody. I will be back with a synopsis once I get season 6 under my belt. I'll let you know where I go from there. Take care, everybody. Thanks for listening.